Are we live? Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Awful quiet in here, girls. Hey, there we are. Oh my goodness, you're still in Kentucky. How's your mother doing? So as y'all can see, half of A&W is not here at the moment. She may be able to get here in a little bit, but she is detained for the time being. This crazy weather in Alabama has not been a whole lot better. We had 70-degree days, then 2 days of rain, and now it's in the 30s. Howdy, Chris. Suits and to boots. Okay. So Sue's double dipping as usual. So how did y'all like our last video? Jamie and Lester, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work. A lot of work taking care of your parents. Like the duck in the pool. It's cute, but we don't like the ducks in the pool. They are messy. That's one mess I'd rather not have to clean up. Oh, I'm sorry, Sue. I've been down that road. Did you see our 2 new additions? Yes, Chris, that's exactly right. The turkey dance? Yeah, I didn't know she was recording. I was messing with a turkey. I walked out and it gobbled at me, so I gobbled back at it. And the next thing I know, I'm on the internet strutting. Yeah, that's one of the few births I've got to witness here on the farm. Usually I'm at work when somebody gives birth. But the little female, the white one, she only has little brown spots on the tips of her ears. Everywhere else, she's snow white. And they are sweet. They were playing and jumping around this afternoon after I got in from work. It was still daylight for a change. Yeah, I understand. Hey, Glenda. I'll let a few more get in here. Like I said, Wendy. Did that light just come on? Wendy's indisposed at the moment. She can't be with us. I hope she gets to come in a little while. Hey, Rachel. So we've still got the 4 Dolings, or the 3 Dolings, 2 Bucklins. We still got some goats that are looking for forever homes. If anybody knows anybody that's looking for them, the 2 lambs that were just born, the little boy, we're going to have to find him a home also. Or we'll have to weather him. And I don't want to do that because they have a higher chance of bladder crystals when you weather them. And we've already been down that road with our first ram that we had. It was awful. A single parent, yeah. Just be glad it's just the one puppy. What are you doing, stinker? Hannah come over here for some pets. I bet Odin's getting bigger. They grow fast when they're little like that. It's hard to believe how big the goats have gotten, the goat babies. I bet he listens about as much as a kid too, right? So get back. Yeah, just like kids. I mean, they're little for a little while, and then they're grown. Our little poodles didn't stay little for long. Hannah's right here, and y'all can't see her. Come on, you can come up here. You can come up here. These are just attention hounds. You're looking for mama. Linda, how are you doing? Made homemade cookies. Susan, you're going to have to bring me some homemade cookies. I'm all about some chocolate chip cookies. That's my favorite. You can come up here too. Come on. Now, puppies won't in. Well, I got them all. Oh, me. Well, Scarlett's got a friend that's running around with her out there, and I keep hearing Rhett bark. I'm okay, having surgery March 5th. Okay. We will definitely keep you in our prayers, Glenda. Fried taters and onions. That's what she's got. Yeah. Fried taters and onions is good. That's one of my favorites. What is it? You can't see her. She's just looking at me. So I was trying to think what all Wendy had in the last video. We finally got gravel on our driveway. I was spreading that last week. And then there goes Facebook. We just didn't get much done. We had that event Saturday night where we dressed up, and it's just been busy. It's busy work. We were getting ready. We were outside Saturday. We were fixing to come in to get our showers and start getting ready and everything. And Wendy sent me a message and said, "Come down here." And when I got down there, the little lamb girl had been born. Yeah. She walked in. She said, "I'm not sure this is going to work." She come in with her hair. Yeah. I said, "I don't remember us doing electrical work." It was, oh, me. There's some things that's best left in the 80s. So, but she called me. She said, "Come down here." Yeah, JC said, "What's wrong with your hair? What'd you do to your hair?" She said, "I don't like it." Hey, Kayla, I'm solo tonight, so y'all help me out. Oh, here. Oh, hey, Poppy. Oh, me. Hey. Oh my goodness. It's a puppy wrestling match. Quit. All right, you're up here now. You're all wrapped up in the cords and everything. Poodle puddle. It absolutely is. So, but yeah, JC comes in and said, "What did you do to your hair? Or what's wrong with your hair?" And, but yeah, we had a good time. They come to us when they started planning this because the men put it on and told us that it was going to be a thrift store formal. So we had went to the thrift store and I found the coat with tails. And I said, "Well, that's it, you know." And then about 2 weeks before it was put on, they came out and said that it was going to be a 50s and 60s formal. And I was like, "Well, it's too late now." So Wendy found her dress like the day before. And we just went with it. Everybody, that was my motorcycle that was in some of the pictures. And everybody asked me if I rode my motorcycle up there with the tails. No. Although that would have been good, but no, I did not wear the tails on the motorcycle. Yeah, well, you know, that was the style. We kind of went with the 90s prom since we didn't have a prom. Her and I did not do a prom together. But I think it went off very well. I'm going to try to find a picture of her actually in that time. Y'all wouldn't believe it. Her hair, her hair Saturday night wasn't nothing like what it used to be. Of course, my hair Saturday night wasn't nothing like it used to be either. But most people think that I had like red hair or light colored hair. Actually, my hair was really dark when I had hair. I mean, I still have it. I keep it in a Ziploc bag. She was 8. Who? Wendy? 8 or 9? No. That's right, Sue. That's exactly right. Oh, it was funny. Like in the last couple of years, I've seen a bunch of the boys having mullets again. I'm just like, wow, we thought that was cool too. It wasn't. We didn't realize how ugly it was. All right, huh? They can't see you, and you're right in my way, sweetie. Go on. No. Do you want to go to bed? Rocked it 92. Yeah, we did too. So you and I are really close in age. Excuse me. So I had the spiked up hair with the mullet ish. Bringing up my chair. That's exactly right. Oh me. Facebook is acting all kind of weird. I don't know why it does that. Good girl. Really? Oh, parachute pants. The high top Reeboks never were laced up. Hey, Sue, you're back again. um, yeah, the Reeboks that never were laced up, the big old tongue flopping, the tight rolled peg leg jeans, stonewashed, the denim jackets. Yep, Eastland shoes. Wendy probably knows what that is. I don't know what the Eastland shoes are. I had to. We went from the Reebok hot tops to Nike Airs, and the bright colors, the neon colors. I think I even had a pair of pants that had the zippers, and the zippers on them were neon green. Good times. That was the '80s were the best times for me. I mean, like we had no worries whatsoever. Boat shoes, yes, yes. I was just sitting here thinking I remembered like a some kind of boat shoe. Um, but yeah, you're right. What the kids wear is now the Sperry's, or used to wear was the Sperry's, that kind of shoe. Um, I also remember wearing the Wallabies, the suede Wallaby shoes, look like the gum soles. That was years ago. It was, Sue. That was the best time of my life. The music was good. Cars were cool. But I mean, even the '70s and '80s and early '90s, that was great time. Great time to be alive. You know, if you had $20 on Friday, it'd last you all weekend too. You were rich. Now, if you have $20, it won't get you out of the driveway. There's, we we were there the other night, and there's one of the guys brought. He had a '62 model Chevrolet. Y'all might have been able to see it in some of the. Yeah, that's exactly right. Um, but he had like a '62 Chevrolet pickup, and everybody was oohing and ahhing over it. And the guy that I was with there was standing there talking. I said, this was what we drove in high school. At that time, they were a 20, 25-year-old vehicle. It'd be like some kid coming to school now in a 2000 model. It's the same thing. We didn't realize how cool the cars we were driving really were. Now you don't ever see anything like that on the road hardly. Hey, there's Token Gringo. Yeah, yeah. Well, I had a truck. That was my dad's. It was a '79 F-250 that I drove from time to time. But my car was a 80 Olds Cutlass Calais. It was a nice car. Got my first ticket in it too. Nowadays, I think if a kid showed up even with a gun rack in the back of their window of their truck, they would kick them out of school, call the police. I know when my daughter was in high school, they went out and searched cars for whatever reason, and they called the police on this one kid because he had 2 shotgun shells in like the back of his pickup or something. There's Kayla. I mean, it's just really ridiculous. Kayla, whatever you want the subject to be, sweetie, we can make it. I'm, like I said, I'm on my own, and it's pretty random today. Yep, Wendy had a Toyota Corolla. That's how she learned how to drive a 5-speed, was after she put the new clutch in it. I don't ever not remember having to drive a stick shift. I understand, Kayla. Any plans for Valentine's Day? Nope. Wendy and I, when we first got together, I sat her down and I said, I don't do my Valentine's Day. If I don't show you throughout the year that I love you, that I have to go out and spend an exorbitant amount of money on stupid stuff one day of the year, then we have no business being together. Oh my goodness. Pop up. Get off there. Chevy Chevette. Sue had a vet. Is that what you tell everybody, Sue? You learn how to drive a stick shift in a vet? Yeah, but not the good kind. Oh, cars are so weird back then. A friend of mine had a Chevrolet Citation. It was like the big brother to the Chevette, and the only thing I really remember about the car was the radio. It wasn't put in this way. The radio was on the. It was put in this way beside the instruments. I thought that was the weirdest thing. When I started, or I was probably 14, my dad had like a old car that was an 80 model Pinto station wagon, and he told me, he said, if you want that, he said, I'll have it painted and the windows tinted, and we'll put you a stereo system in it, and you can drive it. I was like, no. That's a nice car. 3000 GTs are really nice cars, and they're really fast. Yeah, I had a Maverick at one time. I had the F-250, a Cutlass, 2 Volkswagens. And then I started in on pickups, and I had an Isuzu pickup, and then a Ranger. I've had a few Rangers. So I hear you, Chris. 38th anniversary. Wow, congratulations. Most people don't make it that long anymore. Um, my parents were high school sweethearts. They were married for 42 years before my father passed away. A little Dodge Aries, K car. Oh, yes. Yeah, it happens. Glenda's been married 38 years also. Were y'all high school sweethearts, Glenda? Well, I tell you, I have, see, that's sweet. Um, I want a 70, 60 or 70s model Ford F100. I, I just want it for my truck just to run around in and everything. And what they want for them now is insane in my eyes because I remember when I was 16 years old, you could buy one for $500 and drive it home. And now it's like $5,000, but the floors are rotted out of it and the motor's blowed up. And yeah, Kayla, that is no doubt. A male Jeep. Oh, he ran away to Germany and left you. I'm hoping he was in the military is the reason he ended up in Germany. Yeah, Chris, my dad, I was probably 15, and then when I told him I didn't want the Pinto, he told me that he said, "Well, I know where there's some Jeeps for sale," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool, a Jeep." So we take off to, hey Susan, we take off to Birmingham, and we go into downtown Birmingham, and he pulls up to the post office, and they're auctioning off these male Jeeps. So I'm like, ah, that's not the Jeep I had in mind, but that's great. You got to start somewhere. I mean, starting over, good grief. Yeah. You used to see a few of those running around, but you don't see them anymore. They were right hand drive. That was my thing. If it had been a left hand drive, I would have been okay. I wasn't sure if I wanted to drive a right hand drive vehicle around. That's right. But God, that's somebody I know who was. Oh, really? See, the ones we looked at was on the right side. Um, so somebody I know is going through a really rough time right now. And I won't get into any of the details, but I talked to him the other day. I told him, I said, the hardest thing that I was going through in my life, I held on to Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you, not to destroy you, but to prosper you. And man, some days that's all I had. Three on the tree. It was okay as long as you didn't get them hung between gears. That happened a lot. What are you doing? All right, go lay down. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. And when you really get hold of it, grind it till you find it. It's exactly right. Yeah. When you really get to, and that's the thing is, I really didn't understand that verse until my head cleared up, and the roughest times were over with. Then it really come to life for me. It really understood it. Yeah. And there's so many people that are going through hard times right now, Kayla. We see it. We have a large number of the county inmates that come to church with us, and my heart just goes out to them because I see the looks on their faces, and I know where they've been and what they're going through, and you try to help them, but there's only so much you can say or so much you can do. You know, they've got to walk it out. Right, Sue. And unfortunately, Sue, if we live long enough, we're all going to be faced with those hard times like that. Yep. And that's what I tell everybody when I give my testimony is I tell them to say, you know, there was some days that the best I could do was just get out of bed. You know, you get out of bed and you put your clothes on and you put one foot in front of the other, and literally that's all I had in me. But you don't stop. Yep. If you've never been through it, it's hard to explain to somebody what you went through. Like, and I told Wendy for years, I said, hard is the most overused word in the English language, because people would come up to me and go, I know it's hard. No, you don't really understand what hard is until you've walked that mile. And there was some people that had lived in my shoes, for lack of better terms. They'd walked those miles, and they would tell you, look, I can talk to you and tell you and say and do, but you know, it's something you've got to work out. There's another verse, and I can't ever remember it. So if y'all excuse me, I will look it up real quick. And a good friend of mine that had been through similar circumstances. See if I can find it. It's Corinthians 1:4. And it talks about that sometimes we go through things for no other reason but to lift somebody else up or help them out. And when she gave me that verse, it was very frustrating at the time, because I was like, okay, well, who's supposed to be helping me out? Who's supposed to be lifting me up? Because I felt very alone at the time. That was another verse that I didn't really grasp the meaning of till I had reached the top of the mountain, and then it made sense that maybe I wasn't going through that so much for myself, but to grow myself so that I could help somebody else along the way. That's exactly right. That is exactly right, Linda. Yeah. And you have to. I mean, and I don't understand how people go through it that don't have faith or don't have a relationship. Um, the hardest part for me was everything fell apart for me when I started trying to turn my life around. Um, so I didn't understand. I didn't have a strong um, history of knowing the Bible or being in church, and uh, so there was a lot of times I felt really, really alone. Um, and part of the reason I felt alone is I pushed away to some extent too. But it is what it is. You make your decisions and you learn from them and you move on. Um, but it gives me such an insight when I see somebody struggling nowadays. It just part of it breaks my heart because I know what they're going through, but part of me has a little bit of joy knowing they're going through the hard times because that's where growth comes from, is in that valley. You know, we all here we farm or we grow uh, plants and all that, and we like being. Hey, Steve, we like being on that mountaintop. The mountaintop's easy, but that's not where growth comes from. And if you farm or you raise plants or vegetables or whatever, you have to get that soil that's in that bottom land, that's down in that valley, because that's where the soil is rich. That's where growth comes from. It doesn't come from being on top of that mountain. You can't live your entire life on top of that mountain. You will never grow. So going through those valleys, as much as it hurts our carnal beings to go through that valley, our relationship um, and our spiritual being grows in that time. So, Sue, I know you're going through a valley right now. Glenda, I know you're going through a valley, but take joy in it that you're growing in this time. That's exactly right, Glenda. You got to feel the lows to appreciate the highs. And I think as we grow, also we go through valleys. I mean, I don't care who you are, you're going to go through a valley at some point in your life. But as you grow, the valleys don't seem as deep, if that makes sense. Yeah, it is a learning experience too. Hey, Dom. Um, my friend Steve is on Facebook with us, and I've been with him when he's gone through some valleys too. So nobody is nobody's going to get out of here alive. Nobody's going to get out of here and not go through valleys in their life. If you constantly on top of the mountain and nothing bad ever comes your way, you might not be in the right place. So, well, good news. We Wendy boxed up 4 dozen eggs today, and she's already had somebody call her and want them. So our chicks have started laying. We're starting to get some eggs in. That's great. We can help some people out that because somebody told me the other day they went to Walmart and what 60 eggs was, and I was like, that's like 50 cents an egg. that, that's crazy to me. Is eggs are 50 cents a piece. Oh, okay, Kayla. I mean, I can't. 50 cents an egg. And we don't buy milk very, very often. We keep it here for the kids, but we buy a gallon, here and there. Now, somebody was talking about that there was a milk shortage also. Uh, Something about that so many cows had to be put down for whatever reason. So, things come and go like a rubber band. Uh, Something happens, or what was it that I used to hear? Ripples on the water. One event causes ripples further away. It's the same thing. You kill that many chickens, you you slaughter that many head of cattle, and it's going to cause an effect on down the line. You're not going to have eggs next year. Your milk production is going to drop down, and it takes a long time to recoup from that kind of loss. We seen it after the vid. Well, I bet he was a hero, Glenda. 12 dozen eggs. Yeah, we constantly have people calling us, and up till the last week, our girls just weren't laying. And if they were, we didn't find where they were laying. Um, we go on an Easter egg hunt every day. Because when we moved the coop, like half the chickens just said, "No, we're not going in there anymore," and they're all in the trees and on the fence and everywhere else, and you never know where you're going to find your eggs. I hope this feeder that Wendy has planned, they were going to hang in the coop. It's like a big bulk feeder. That once we get it in there, that maybe they will start going in there and roosting again. I tell you, good gosh, automatic chicken doors. We decided we were going to do that, and I think Wendy's done a couple of videos on us putting one in or something. Those things are horrendously garbage. I have not found a chicken coop door that will last more than a month in years. That's great, Glenda. That is so good that y'all have extra and that y'all can share it. And there's a lot of needy people out there right now. The homeless population is, I've never, ever seen it like it is now. And I've worked in Birmingham my whole life. And there was always that group. You would see them out and about and stuff. But now you drive down the interstate, there's tent communities and under bridges, and it's everywhere. So does anybody have an automatic chicken coop door that they know of that'll last any length of time? Gotcha, Sue. I don't think you've missed anything. We've bought 4 or 5, and they'll work great when you put them in. And then one day they just quit. And the day they quit, you can throw them away because there's no getting them back. And the ones that have worked, we've got them and put them in, and they would open and close one time, and then they may open again, they may not, they may close, they may not. They're just garbage. and they're not cheap for what they are. They are not cheap. But Rhett being out there has helped us out a lot. We don't put the chickens up at night. They go up. We don't worry too much about closing them up anymore. Um, Daisy, we put her and her babies up. And the ducks we sometimes put up. Wow, Sue. Um, no, Sue. It is totally understandable. It just reminded me of something that I had forgotten about. My mother stayed with my dad the entire time he was sick, and there was one night that I went and stayed with him just give her a break, and it just brought that back to memory. It was kind of like being a child again. That night we were laying there, and he had a hospital bed. He had at this point become bedridden, and there was a twin bed in the same room. That's where my mother would generally sleep, and that's where I was sleeping. And I remember laying there, and we were watching some of the old TV shows that we would watch when I was a child, and just remembering that when I was I was little again. I was laying there watching TV with Dad, like I did when I was real little. I was probably 5 years old, and Dad let me come in and one evening and watch MASH with him because it come on after my bedtime, and I just remembered how grown I felt the night that he let me sit and watch MASH with him. It's funny, but that'll always be my favorite show for that reason. And I'm sure everybody here has got stories like that from their parents. Yep. There you go, Glenda. That was my grandmother's favorite song. Yeah. She needs that comfort right now. I'm just glad that you're able to provide that for her. Um, wow. Well, guys, I hate to do it, but I'm going to step out a little early tonight. All right, Steve. Step out a little early tonight. I'm going to go help Wendy out. And yeah, it's hard to raise your parents, Sue. But she'll be back on next week. I'm sure she'll do some lives and everything during the week. Watch out for our video. It's going to drop Monday. We're approaching Monday very fast. I'm not sure what it's going to be on or what it's going to be about, but y'all have a wonderful week. We love you. Jesus loves you. Bye, guys.